What up, y'all? It's Matt, stealing Tyler's phone again. I did this in like his last vlog or the one before, and I'm doing it again because Tyler's bringing in groceries. And I love taking Tyler's phone and recording on it when he's bringing in groceries. It's something for me to do. Later, Tyler, I'm gonna watch this clip and think, what the heck? Why does Matt keep doing this? YouTube views. Regular shows. Party pack.
We just watched Thor, Love, and Thunder. What were your first impressions?
Phase 4 is weird, bud.
Didn't like the humor too much, eh, bud?
Me, especially not really in the first half. That was like, every line was a joke. Me, maybe tone that down for the next Thor movie, please.
Yeah, it was alright. It almost felt more like a parody of a Thor movie than it really felt like a Thor movie. They made some really good decisions and some really weird ones, and some that quite frankly just kind of pissed me off at times. But I think overall, I think that I don't think this was better than Ragnarok, I'll tell you that. But
me neither.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really much to this movie. It kind of just felt like the same character development that we've seen in Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame. It really didn't feel like Thor learned anything new. If anything, at the beginning, he kind of just went backwards from a lot of the stuff he learned in those movies, and then kind of just learned them again. Jane Foster, I'd say, was better than in what she was in Thor 1 and 2, but she still really just didn't do much. I liked the character more. I just didn't think that they did a lot with her, honestly. She was kind of just there to be cool at times.
Yeah, it's true. You want to review some of it, man? Yeah, I liked her better in this one. But like you said, I don't feel like she did a whole lot. That's kind of what I felt about all of them, like pretty much all of them, really, because I feel like each character shines in their own parts, but like, in a way, I kind of feel like this movie doesn't really even have a story. I mean, there's the stuff with gore and everything, but like, is it just me, or does he feel like he was like almost not even in the movie, kind of?
Yeah, you know,
like he was in it. And he was cool,
I was really, that was the most disappointing part of the movie, was gore. I thought he was going to be a lot better, and Christian Bale does a good job with what he's given. But
he's in like, it feels like an eighth of it to me.
Yeah, it's just another unfortunate victim to the Marvel villain problem, which is, you know, and they've always had it. They just can't really seem to nail down a villain. You know, except for like Thanos and, you know, a few here and there. But like, yeah, I mean, yeah, gore was probably one of the biggest letdowns of this whole movie. I was really hoping he was going to be like...
Because when he was on screen, I thought he was cool, but I feel like he was not hardly on screen. I feel like they talked about him more than he was on screen. Like, there's stuff with him in the beginning and there's stuff with him at the end, but I feel like there's this entire middle section where they don't even have a villain or anything. It's just kind of like hanging out or something.
Yeah, yeah, gore, I didn't really like gore that much. I liked the idea. I didn't really like the execution. Even when he was on screen, I was kind of like questioning his motives. Especially because in the end, like, something happens where it kind of makes you think, like, why did this whole movie happen? I'm not going to spoil what it is, but there's just like a part at the end where, like, I'm like, so this movie didn't even need to happen, because I don't know. It was alright. But can we agree that it had pacing issues? It actually did have pacing issues. I know
it goes back and forth from being like really fast paced to just like dragging everything out.
Yeah, it was like we make the joke that we always bitch about pacing, but this one legitimately had pacing issues again. And again, this might just be because I'm so used to the Disney Plus shows where you get more time. But it felt so rushed at times.
I feel like we're in the era where, like, I'm kind of almost more excited for the shows now. Like, not all of them are landing for me, but like, I feel like most of them are, where I feel like with the movies, the only Phase 4 movie that I have just loved instantly from when we watched it was Spider-Man No Way Home, because I grew to love Shang-Chi, I grew to love Doctor Strange, but even on my first watch of both of those, I kind of wasn't sure. I had to watch them again to know if I even like truly like them or if I again just like.
I kind of had to do that with this movie too.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, and then other ones like Black Widow got worse when I watched it.
Yeah,
again. I feel like I could like this more or actually lower my score.
I liked like one thing I loved about like Phase 3. And even Phase 2 is the second you walked out of the the second you walked out of the theater, you felt like happy and you felt satisfied with everything that happened.
Yeah.
With Phase 4,
it's like,
you kind of almost have to convince yourself sometimes that you like these things, and then when you rewatch it, you that's when you really actually figure it out. And you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think the best way to describe Phase 4 is it's like a TV show that is past its prime. It's still good, but it's not as good as it used to be. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it just peaked at I almost said season 3. Was it Phase 3? And there's gonna be like some great episodes here and there, but overall, I think at the end of the day, you almost just convinced yourself you're liking the new stuff more because you like the characters and you have been liking the characters. I think that's just what it is. Because Phase 4 isn't bad, but it's like the most all over the place thing.
Shit.